The Opus token on Solana, launched via the pump.fun ecosystem, is on a massive run. What's causing this? Who's buying here? Who's selling here? Let's have a look behind the price action to figure out whether or not it still makes sense to buy Opus right now. Now we're currently at roughly 7 cents. We are up 16% in the last 24 hours alone, and in the last week we pretty much 5x'd. Have a look at this overview in the pump.fun ecosystem. The Opus token is an absolute top performer, currently at 70 million market cap roughly. Now there are pump.fun ecosystem tokens that are way larger than this, and I believe that's a good sign because that means there is some upside potential still. 70 million in market cap compares to 1,273 million for the largest of the pump.fun ecosystem tokens. So that's almost a 20x from here. There's plenty of tokens that are smaller than 70 million. A 2x would put Lotus in the area of loose. A 3x would put it just above Bully, but still below Fartcoin. By the way, we talked about Fartcoin very early on this channel, so feel free to check out the history. Now here are the trending tokens on the Solana chain ordered by their liquidity pool size. And of course we've got Peanut, Act and Goat in the top positions. And Opus is currently at number 13 with a liquidity pool of 2.7 million. Currently there's roughly 1,500 more buyers than sellers. So that's a ratio of 54% buyers versus 46% sellers. And before we go into the on-chain analytics, so the number of buyers and sellers and the retail investors and the whale investors, etc., those kinds of trends, let's first have a look at the social metrics, because sometimes it's possible to spot some kind of manipulation over there. Now here's the Twitter account of Opus, or some call it the X platform. There is 6,400 followers over here. There's also the Opus community with 3,900 followers. That compares to 3,200 members on Telegram, so the same kind of ballpark, and that in turn compares to 12,700 holders on chain. So this all kind of makes sense. Most of the time we see more holders on chain than followers on the social metrics. It also makes sense that those are all in the same kind of order of magnitude, right? It's not like there is 10 times more followers on Twitter compared to, say, holders on chain. This all makes sense here. But let's dive a bit deeper into the on-chain metrics. What we see on the left is the number of first-time versus recurring traders per day. And what we see on the right is the number of token transactions. Now it's interesting how the number of token transactions spiked up much more, comparatively speaking, in relation to the number of traders, right? Of course, the traders were also low, but the token transactions were way lower, relatively speaking. We've seen a massive influx of first-time traders, 9,895 on a single day. And we can't ignore the latest data point because today has just started and we might see yet another all-time high. Here's, I believe, one of the most useful charts for Opus, and that's the trading volume. On the left side, that's in US dollars. On the right side, that's normalized to 100% per day. And of course, we do again see this massive spike yesterday. But here's what I like so much about those two charts. On the right side, we can clearly see how the trading volume by small retail tends to decline over time and how the trading volume by the whales and large retail tends to go up over time. Now, small retail is all the wallets that have less than $1,000 worth of the token. Medium-sized retail is up to $10,000. Large retail is up to $100,000. And whales is everything above $100,000. And so instead of looking at the trading volume, we can also have a look at the number of holders. And instead of looking at US dollars, we can have a look at the number of tokens. So there are different holding thresholds based on different token levels. On the left side, each of those wallets here has at least 20,000 Opus tokens. Now at the current price, that's a bit over $1,000, and I consider this retail. In the middle, we go at 10x in minimum holding, so it's now not $1,000, but $10,000. And on the right, it's $100,000, so another 10x. So on the right are the whales, on the left is retail, and in the middle is something in between. And so we can clearly see how the number of retail investors tends to grow over time. We see a bit less growth by medium-sized retail, and we see how the very large whales tend to simply just stay stable over time. Now this is the number of whales. This is not the token ownership by the whales. Because again, right, we have seen how the trading volume, interestingly enough, went down comparatively speaking over time, very consistently. Have a look at this. Who owns the token ownership relatively speaking? It's less and less retail over time. It's now only 2.4% of all tokens held by small retail and only 11% by medium-sized retail. So that's all the wallets up to $10,000. All the other tokens right now. So pretty much 85% of the supply is now held by wallets that have at least $10,000 worth of the token. We can also see this in the accumulation charts. The value that is held by small retail may be 3 to 4x in the last month, but the value of the tokens held by the whales did not just 3 to 4x. That went up by 100x. Now here's a very interesting recent development. You very likely do not have access to this kind of chart. This here shows how much advertisers on my YouTube channel pay for 1,000 views of their ads. And it suddenly, out of nothing, spiked to roughly double of what it used to be. In other words, crypto projects, centralized exchanges, etc., they are now competing for advertising space in the crypto scene. And it's not just money that's flowing into advertising for crypto, there's also simply fiat money that's flowing into the space as a whole. The stablecoin market cap tends to rise, and it's recently even accelerating. So since October of last year, we see money flowing into crypto again. That of course causes a lot of crypto asset prices to go up. And especially in the recent days, since beginning of the month, we also see the altcoins going up in aggregate. So what we have over here is the others dominance. This is how much of all of crypto is in the altcoins that's not in the top 10. That went up by roughly 20% in the last month. And so pretty much everything is now going up. The art in crypto trading though is to buy early, right? It's to buy when the prices are still low. So for example, over here, the Chill Guy token, it's now at 50 cents. But I made a video on Chill Guy when it was still at 20 cents. And I hope a lot of you made money with that video because it was a quite popular one. And so this is the real art, right? We have to get into tokens when momentum is bullish and when there's still enough upside potential. And so this is what this channel is all about, right? It's about discussing tokens that a lot of people don't yet have on their radar. So feel free to subscribe. Now, how can I find tokens like Chill Guy early? Or how can I find things like the GOAT token or the ACT token early? Those are one of the largest pump.fun ecosystem tokens. This is a wallet tracking alert. How Kyle Chessy bought the GOAT token for 14 cents. That was over here. Since then, the price went up by more than 500%. Temporarily, it was up by more than 800%. Who's Kyle Chessy? It's this influencer over here. He's got 137,000 subscribers and he tends to be relatively early on trending tokens. And so here is how that works. We use on-chain analytics again to figure out who is owning what wallet. It's not a very easy task, but we've got an entire community that just focuses on that single task. Find wallets that are very useful, of insiders, of top traders, of influencers. Let's find those wallets and then track them. So over here, we've got the wallets that we track by Kyle Chessy. We've got 12 in total. Well, let's talk about the ACT token. Here's our signal for ACT. CryptoBanter bought the ACT token at 3.7 cents. Now it's at 58 cents. So an increase of 1,500% since that signal. And of course, temporarily, the gain was even higher, more than 2,000%. Now, where do crazy gains like this come from? They come from attention. They come from a lot of eyeballs getting into one single token. And so here are those eyeballs. This is the CryptoBanter channel. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. When they talk about the token, of course the token has to go up. And so we've got 33 of CryptoBanter's wallets. And so really, I think this is the better approach compared to just drawing random lines on price charts. I think it's better to follow the smart money. It's better to follow the insiders. It's better to simply copy trade the people that tend to make money in crypto. And I like this approach that much that I made a dedicated tutorial course just on this. How can we find various influencer wallets? How can we track those wallets? And how can we subsequently also interpret the signals that we get from the tracking? It's 8 videos in total. It's all part of Premium. So that's down below, thebitcoinstrade.com. Premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about on-chain analytics, right? The charts that we looked at today in this video. It's also about portfolio diversification, risk management, indicator backtesting. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total. Once we get our wallet signals, we of course also have to discuss when should we buy, when should we sell. We have to compare the on-chain analytics. That's why we've got dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $165 per month. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like Premium, in case you don't learn anything, simply just message me within the first 7 days and I will refund you 100%. There's really zero risk for you. And so here is what I believe is going on with the Opus token. Initially, there was silent accumulation by the whales with not that much price action. Now it seems like the whales feel comfortable pushing up the price and they buy a bit faster. Are they buying faster now in order to generate a lot of attention to subsequently dump it? Or are they buying faster now in order to get more and more people in, to get to a certain holding threshold, to get to a certain market cap, that then subsequently a centralized exchange might list the token? There's many potential explanations. I think it's very important to see what happens during bearish days. When overall the market is rather trending downwards, will Opus stay stable because the whales continue buying, or will Opus completely crash? If the latter is the case, then of course it doesn't make sense to keep on holding, right? Then it's probably some kind of pump and dump. I think the risk to reward is currently worth it for Opus, and so I'm considering to buy some tokens as well. I haven't bought any yet because I never want to buy before publishing a video. I always publish a video first and then subsequently buy. If there is a case where I buy beforehand, I will also announce this here in the video. I really don't like this conflict of interest. I try to minimize this as much as possible. I don't like how a lot of influencers simply buy a token secretly and then promote it on YouTube. This channel is not that. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in premium. Cheers!